But tonight's top story, the battle for Bihar has well and truly taken off. The biggest faces of both the National Democratic Alliance, the ruling alliance of Bihar, and the opposition Mahagathbandhan came out to woo the voters of Bihar. The Prime Minister entered the Bihar poll fray for the first time, holding 3 rallies across the state. Mr. Modi accused the Mahagathbandhan of blocking development of Bihar and was seen on stage with Nitish Kumar. His sharpest attack was on the issue of 370, claiming the opposition wanted Jammu and Kashmir special status back. On the campaign trail, Rahul Gandhi then hit back at the Prime Minister, holding him responsible for the migrant crisis during the lockdown and questioning the government on the rising tensions with China. What's been happening on the Bihar campaign trail and what does this mean for the voter? Our top focus tonight starts with the Mahabharat of Bihar.
जितनी रिपोर्ट आ रही है सब में यही आ रहा है बिहार में फिर एक बार एनडीए सरकार बनने जा रही है।
नरेंद्र मोदी जिंदाबाद, नीतीश कुमार जिंदाबाद।
The NDA fielded its biggest match winner in Bihar on Friday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared dais with Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, who is facing a voter fatigue after 15 years in power.
गौरवशाली धरती के
The two addressed 3 rallies, with the opposition wrestling the initiative on the key issue of jobs. Prime Minister Modi played to his strengths.
आज ये लोग इस फैसले को पलटने की बात कर रहे हैं। ये कह रहे हैं कि सत्ता में आए तो आर्टिकल 370 फिर लागू कर देंगे।
He also made it a point to remember the brave hearts from Bihar who laid down their lives in the Galwan Valley and in Pulwama.
बिहार के सपूत गलवान घाटी में तिरंगा के खातिर शहीद हो गए ले। पुलवामा हमले में भी बिहार के जवान शहीद भइले। हम उनके चरणन में शीश झुकावतानी, श्रद्धांजलि देवतानी।
नरेंद्र मोदी जिंदाबाद, नीतीश कुमार जिंदाबाद।
But most importantly, Modi tried to put any speculation of a divide within the alliance to rest. The opposition Mahagathbandhan too pulled out the big guns. Rahul Gandhi and RJD leader Tejaswi Yadav worked up the crowds with their job offers. While Tejaswi has been targeting Nitish Kumar, the Congress MP took on Prime Minister Modi.
जब चाइना की सेना ने हमारे 20 सैनिकों को मारा, शहीद किया और हमारी जमीन ली, तो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने हमारे वीरों का अपमान करते हुए ये क्यों बोला कि हिंदुस्तान के अंदर कोई नहीं आया? सवाल भाइयों और बहनों ये है। सोनिया गांधी जिंदाबाद।
Rahul also hit out at the NDA government over the migrant crisis and branded government's job promise as lies.
आप हजारों किलोमीटर चले, नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने आपको ट्रेन नहीं दी, बस नहीं दी। नरेंद्र मोदी ने आपसे कहा भूखे हो तो क्या हुआ, प्यासे हो तो क्या हुआ, हजारों किलोमीटर चलो, अब बिहार की ओर चलो, मर जाओ पिस जाओ, मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
It was a blockbuster Friday in Bihar election campaign. Both fronts fielded their best faces. The NDA is hoping its Brahmastra will deliver, but can brand Modi repeat its Lok Sabha success in the state elections is the big question. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's raise the big question on the battle for Bihar. Can brand Modi now save Nitish Kumar? Is he the Brahmastra? Is he the NDA's Brahmastra, or will he miss this time? Does Modi magic, and this is an important question, work in state polls as effectively as it does in a general election? Is Congress the weak link or the Kamzor Khadi in the Mahagathbandhan? Just some of the questions we'll raise tonight. I'm joined by Ankit Tyagi, our intrepid reporter who's been reporting across Bihar. He's in Aurangabad at the moment. Also joining us is Sandeep Shastri, National Coordinator of Lok Niti, which has just done a major poll on Bihar. Gaurav Vallabh, Congress spokesperson, is with us. Nupur Sharma is the BJP spokesperson. Appreciate all of you joining us. I want to come to you, Ankit Tyagi, first on the ground, because give us a sense of the mahal on the ground. The Prime Minister has spoken, Rahul Gandhi has spoken. What's the sense? What's the issue at the moment on the ground that is capturing the imagination of the people of Bihar?
Well, Rajdeep, the first rally of the Prime Minister today was in Sasaram. In fact, we were there at the rally. A lot of support for the Prime Minister, but I cannot say the same for the Chief Minister of Bihar, Nitish Kumar. And that is something that you will also find, messing up the equation for the NDA on the ground. Like in Sasaram, which is a bastion for the Bharatiya Janata Party, this time the seat has gone to the JDU. The JDU candidate is not pulling in all the votes from the NDA because the BJP former MLA is fighting the election from an LJP ticket. That has confused the voters, and a lot of people were expecting that the Prime Minister possibly will give a very clear signal as far as Chirag Paswan and the LJP is concerned. The Prime Minister started his speech with giving his homage to his tributes to, in fact, Ramvilas Paswan, which has possibly once again confused the voter more on the ground. One thing I also want to tell you, Rajdeep, that, Galwan and everything else, people were listening and clapping. But even at the rally, most of them said, we still trust the Prime Minister to deliver on jobs, on infrastructure. They don't have the same trust on Nitish Kumar. Employment, infrastructure, education remains the top issue, not Kashmir, not 370.
Very interesting what you're saying, the differentiation that the voter is making between Prime Minister Modi and Nitish Kumar. Nupur Sharma, why don't you take that? The sense is the Prime Minister is now trying to prop up Nitish Kumar. Nitish is the Kamzor Khadi. There is anger, fatigue, dissatisfaction after 15 years. The Prime Minister is in a sense trying to offset the damage that may be done to the to the NDA because of Nitish Kumar as Chief Minister. How do you respond that the focus is now on Nitish Kumar, and how do you save him, and can the Prime Minister do that?
I think polls which have actually given a heads up to the NDA to rule in Bihar yet again. Now, as far as the population of Bihar is concerned, they're very smart, they know where to vote. And I'm sure that they are going to, as our Home Minister said, that we are likely to get a 2/3 majority in Bihar, and that's exactly where we are headed. However, at the same time, it's a bit rich that the person who's talking about employment and Sarkari employment no less is somebody who is, whether he is metric pass or fail is a big question mark. And secondly, once infamously got a job in a cricket team thanks to his father's recommendation, but could only distribute water bottles. So I think, it's a bit rich when you don't even eulogize your own legacy. I believe there are no posters with Lalu or Rabri on on Mahagathbandhan posters in Bihar. And I don't know on what basis are they talking, because I can give you a statistic. In the 15 years of RJD, they only created around 97,000 employment. But in the 15 years of Nitish, they created, as in the NDA created, around 6 lakh jobs. At the same time, for a state, because I went to Bihar in 2015 elections, I was there for 12 days in a village. For a state which was earlier thought to be a state without any electricity, today has 22 to 24 hours electricity, 100% everywhere, including in villages. For a state which had no road connectivity, roughly around 30 to 34%, today has 96% road connectivity. And I think today we have seen how medical colleges have come up, 7 are almost complete. Another 11 are going to, another 4 are going to be complete, and we have already ensured that 9 colleges are up.
Are you appealing though for votes on Nitish Kumar's track record or on Prime Minister Modi? Let's get it clear. When Mr. Modi goes on the field, Nupur Sharma, is the focus on brand Modi? Is brand Modi propping up Nitish Kumar? I want a direct answer to that.
I will give you a direct answer. We are in coalition. Are we any different? It's the NDA coalition fighting elections. At least we are not asking votes on Jats, Dharm, and all that Tusti Karan wali Rajniti. We are asking for votes on Vikas. The work that we've done to pull out Bihar from a Bimaru state today has the highest GDP growth rate in India.
You know, let me try and bring in Gaurav Ballabh on that point. Gaurav Ballabh, here is the BJP claiming that this is a double engine. Nitish plus Modi is a double engine sarkar, and that is being contrasted with what they claim was the 15 years of Lalu Prasad's rule, which they say was simply not good enough. Your response?
Double engine means one engine is Jumle Raj. This is the engine of Jumlas, and the other engine is the Jumlas of the untruth false engine. So both are moving in opposite direction, and who is suffering is the people of Bihar is suffering. Madam had pointed out many points about educational qualification. Madam, just tell the viewers of India today, what is the educational qualification of ex-HRD minister of our country, Mrs. Smriti Irani ji, madam. Madam, please tell the viewers of India today that what is the educational qualification of Prime Minister Sir Shri Narendra Modi ji, and in which institute of the world there is a MA in political science. First point. Second, she is talking about posters. Madam, today when there was a rally of NDA, where was the poster of Jitan Ram Manji? Had you seen? And what do you mean by NDA, madam? NDA is how NDA is coming down to BJP. There is nothing called as NDA, and Prime Minister had pointed out that. Today he told in front of Nitish Kumar, I don't know why Nitish Kumar had accepted that statement. He mentioned that for first 12 years of Nitish Raj, there was no development agenda. And Nitish Kumar was sitting on the same stage. I don't know what was the compulsion. He was telling categorically that development was there only in 3 years. Now I am asking third question to madam. Madam, please tell the viewers of Aastak that in last 15 years of Nitish Kumar and BJP's Sushashan, so-called Sushashan, which one company started in Bihar? Tell me the name of one big company. I'm not asking more than one. One big company which had started in Bihar. Tell me the name of one SEZ which had started in last 15 years in Bihar. Rajdeep, you will be surprised that there are more than 230 SEZs in our country.
No, Gaurav Ballabh, is this election being fought therefore on the 15 years of Nitish Kumar from 2005 to 20? Because the BJP and Nitish Kumar are reminding the voters also of what Lalu Prasad's tenure was between 1990 and 2005. Where today, as the Prime Minister said, if you bought a car, you were worried that someone would come and take it away from you. He said there was Jungle Raj, there was kidnapping, there was a fear factor which doesn't exist today. So is this election about 1990 to 2005 or 2005 to 2020, Gaurav Ballabh?
I am asking a very simple question on this, Rajdeep, to the madam sitting on our panel. Madam, as per the Niti Aayog report, and this is not my report, madam, Niti Aayog, which works under the direct control of central government, out of big states, Bihar is lowest in all socio-economic parameters, whether it's school dropout, whether it's malnutrition, whether it's the anemic cases in the pregnant ladies, and 33.74% of Bihar's population is below the poverty line. And now compare it with what was their component in 2005. Rajdeep, you will be surprised and your viewers will be surprised. In 2005, Bihar was not at the lowest level in all these parameters which I had mentioned. More than 1/3 of population is below the poverty line. Unemployment rate of the country is 7% and Bihar is around 12%. Why? What had happened? Who had stopped you to fill 4.5 lakh government vacancies? Who had stopped you? Why they are vacant? Why there is no industry cluster in Bihar in last 15 years?
Okay.
Why there is no SEZ in Bihar? Why there is no IT industry in Bihar? Why you had not started Central University of Patna and Central University of Bhagalpur? Answer these questions, madam. You were there for last 15 years.
Okay, you know, Nupur Sharma, yes, Nupur Sharma, you need to respond because we heard the Prime Minister today and a lot of his attack was on Lalu Prasad's rule between 1990 and 2005. Why not focus on the track record of Nitish Kumar now, especially in the last 5 years when questions are being raised? Rahul Gandhi is now raising issues like the handling of the migrant crisis. The Congress is repeatedly raising the question of unemployment. So should the focus be on the last 5 years or should it be on Lalu Prasad's rule, Nupur Sharma?
You know, I want to actually clarify a few things. Actually, you know, I didn't know at universities in India don't offer an MA in political science. I'm sorry, I didn't know this. You know, pata nahi kahan se
I think what he meant is
but I didn't
entire
know this.
political science.
That doesn't matter. It depends. University to university, we have many. I'm sorry, Rajdeep. I think that's being nitpicking. I can also nitpick 1200 kilometer zameen kahan Jaipur mein baithe hain kiya PLA. I can also nitpick like that. Similarly, now secondly, I also want to come to this. You know, Smriti Irani ji ki aap education qualification पूछते हैं, आपको पता होगा in UPA 2, you guys awarded the best performing HRD minister. You gave it to the Kerala education minister who was not even 12th pass. तो आप उसकी बात कर लो. Of politicians from Congress party also, I can start off. Thirdly, I think you are giving the statistics of 7.2 from, I think, the Center for Economic Development. You know, Bihar ki berozgari
There is no
Delhi
center
se kam
for
hai.
economic
Allow me, sir.
Yeah.
I was not interrupting you. बहुत
Yeah,
बड़े
go ahead,
professor
go
हैं भैया. You are nitpicking.
No,
Please tell me 1200 किलोमीटर कैसे लेंथ में, ब्रेथ में, स्क्वायर किलोमीटर में कहाँ बैठी है पीले? बताना जरा मुझे, पूछ के बताना अपनी लीडर से. That's why the problem with people like Mr. What is his name?
Gaurav
Professor
Vallabh.
The problem with people like him is they don't pay attention to what Modi ji said. He did not say there was no development agenda. He said the UP ensured that there is no work done. And mind you, the kind of money that was eaten up when the RJD was in power. अरे गाय भैंसों का चारा खा गए तुम क्या development लेके आओगे? You want me to actually take you back to Champa Biswas and cases like that? Even bureaucratic wives were not safe. They were picked up. An MLA from RJD, her son picked her up, raped her repeatedly, and he was convicted by the High Court. You want me to take you back to that? Or you want me to take you back to your Ghathbandhan ke jo do bhai hain? They were beaten up black and blue in Chhattarpur in Delhi for eve teasing on New Year's Eve in December 2006. You want me to take you that? Those are your progressive friends with whom you are actually fighting elections this year. You want me to talk about numbers? I think you need to now answer. Why does Bihar have a double-digit GDP growth?
No.
Why did
What
Bihar
both of
not
you
have
need to
electricity
answer,
earlier? Why it has today?
Ma'am, what both of you need to answer is Bihar's unemployment rate is well above the national average, well above. In CMI figures, 7.2% national average, Bihar is 11.2. Across the other figures, labor study figures show it's well above 30%. 1/3 of the youth of Bihar are unemployed as we stand today. Now, is this about Congress versus BJP? Are both of you willing to accept that you have clearly failed to provide jobs? Rozgar should be the real issue. I want to ask you, Nupur Sharma's straight question.
Yeah.
1 minute, Gaurav Vallabh ji. What has Article 370 got to do with Bihar, Nupur Sharma ji? The Prime Minister mentioned today about Article 370. Do you believe that this election in Bihar is about Article 370, or indeed when Nityanand Rai, MOS Home, says if RJD performs well, terrorists will seek shelter here? What is he trying to say? What is he trying to say? Are these the issues, or should the issue be fought purely on Vikas and Rozgar, Nupur Sharma?
Is that question to me?
Yes, ma'am. What is the real issue?
I
Why
think,
Article 370 in a Bihar election?
Isn't that the question you should have asked Mr. P. Chidambaram, who happened to be a former Home Minister? I'm really surprised that they want reinstatement of Article 370. The matter has not even been decided by the Honorable Supreme Court. The CWC gave an official statement saying it was a brazen way of abrogating Article 370 and giving Aboriginals and SC/STs in the valley their right, their due right, to actually go on and study in public schools and colleges and get public employment as well. Who started it? If you want to know who started it, you should have started this question with Mr. P. Chidambaram, who I don't know why wants reinstatement of Article 370. Now, why 370? When you have leaders who support Congress and vice versa, go on and say, we need China's help to reinstate 370. When you have a dramatic Mr. Rahul Gandhi sit on a plane, when you have Ghulam Nabi Azad wanting to go and see what is happening, yet when you have left leaders approach the Supreme Court, they're admonished and pulled up. No politics. When you go,
what does it have to do with the Bihar election?
You should have asked P. Chidambaram in the eve of Bihar Assembly elections. Why did he have to ask and rake up this Tustigaran wali Rajniti ki 370 ko reinstate karo?
Gaurav Vallabh, I want to understand, are political parties in Bihar finally ready to have an election on the real? The young of Bihar are looking for a politics possibly that goes beyond caste and community. They are asking education. They are talking about Rozgar, issues with neither Lalu Prasad Yadav addressed when he was Chief Minister, and some would say this is a major failing of Nitish as well. Are you willing to hold an election on the real issues of Bihar?
Rajdeep, first of all, I want to share, madam, there is no Center for Economic Development. There is a Center for Monitoring of Indian Economy, first thing. And as per CMIE data, the unemployment rate in Bihar is 11.9% as for the September 2020, and national average is 7%. And in the month of April, madam, Bihar's unemployment rate, April 2020, was 46%. It means out of 2 Bihari people, 1 is employed and 1 is unemployed. That is the meaning of that. Then madam said there is a universities of political science. Madam, I had never heard a MA in entire political science. Please inform the viewers of India Today about your Divya Gyan about that degree. Third point, madam, which I had raised, again I am pointing out, madam, that in last 15 years, can you name any one company which had started its business in Bihar? Can you name any one IT firm, madam, which had started SEZ in the Bihar? Because there is no SEZ, madam. And now you are saying we will start SEZ. What you were doing for 15 years, Prime Minister is saying 12 years, Nitish was not doing anything. He was naming Nitish as Pisaddi Lal. He was checking the DNA of Nitish Kumar. Then all those things had happened. I don't want to further go into details of that. Madam, regarding 370, madam, please ask your alliance partner, Mehbooba Mufti ji, with whom you were in power for 3.5 years, madam. You might be forgetting that. Please ask her that why she is opposing 370. As far as Congress party is concerned, we are contesting the election on the issue of employment. We had confirmed, and this is our shapath, that on the day 1 of taking oath, 10 lakh appointment letters will be issued. We are contesting election.
No, one minute. Gaurav Ballabh, before I go to Professor Shastri, I want to understand. 10 lakh appointment letters will be issued on the day you take over. For what jobs? How do you create jobs? You can't just give an appointment letter.
I will come to that.
No, how?
And this is a very valid question, Rajdeep. There are 3 lakh vacant positions for teachers in Bihar schools, and you will be surprised, Rajdeep, and your viewers will be surprised that this Pisaddi Sarkar, this Nithalli Sarkar, who was not able to utilize the right to education fund from the central government from 2010 to 11 to 15-16, as per CAG report, 26,500 crore, which was given by Government of India to Bihar government, were not utilized. So we are going to give jobs which were vacancies in the Bihar government.
Okay.
3 lakh teachers vacancies are vacant. 1 lakh paramedical vacancies are vacant. 1 lakh policemen vacancies are vacant. When we are saying something, Rajdeep, we did entire homework. This is not Narendra Modi ji's statement that aaj yahan diya aur wahan bhul gaye.
Okay, just a minute. I want to press the pause button. I want to press the pause button for both of you because Dr. Sandeep Shastri is listening, political scientist, pro-vice chancellor, Jain University, but importantly, someone who's just done a survey, qualitative survey, face-to-face interviews of the people of Bihar, and the 2 issues which came out, Dr. Shastri, what 29% said development is our top issue. However, they define development, and 20% said employment. So 1 in every 2 Bihari voters wants to focus on Vikas and Rozgar. Do you get a sense that the politicians are a little out of sync with the real issues of the people? They're making these promises, but at the end of the day, the people are cynical. If 1 in every 2 Biharis, and to that extent 40% did suffer, was the unemployment rate in April 2020, that reveals a serious unemployment crisis on the ground. Are politicians out of touch with the reality?
Rajdeep, you are right in saying that the issues of the people, be it unemployment, be it price rise, be it the concerns of youth, is something which came out clearly in our survey as being priorities and does not seem to be addressed by the government. I think on the other hand, another dimension of our survey, the reasonably high rating of the performance of the central government is something that the NDA is trying to back on. The NDA is hoping that the Prime Minister and his campaign would be something which would help the NDA in a positive way. On the other hand, you look at today's election campaign, the way Tejasvi has appealed to issues relating to the youth, and our survey shows this. Younger than 25-year-old voters are more or less equally divided in supporting the NDA, the Gathbandhan, and the third force. So I think the election is going to see the real issues come out. Also, Rajdeep, the larger question that you addressed, can a prime minister lift a party when it is a state poll? I think there are three factors, Rajdeep, you have to keep into account in that. Yes, the prime minister, his government's performance is a factor, but that has to be seen with two other factors. Does the Prime Minister's alliance have a face at the state level which can actually benefit from the fact of the Prime Minister's support? Last year, you remember in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, that factor did not work. In Karnataka, it did not work. In Jharkhand, it did not work.
No,
so
in fact,
Dr.
Shastri,
record of the center is important.
Let's give the viewers the actual data and then you can explain why this is happening. For example, in Gujarat 2017 state polls, the BJP polled 49.05. In the Lok Sabha, they polled 62.21%. In Karnataka 2018 state polls, the BJP polled 36.22%. In the Lok Sabha, they polled 51.38%. Madhya Pradesh, the BJP polled 2018 state polls 41.02. Lok Sabha, it went up to 58. Importantly, in elections held after 2019, Haryana, the BJP polled 36.49% in Haryana, but the moment it goes to Lok Sabha, they polled 58.02%. So we are seeing a huge gap between how the BJP performs in a state election and how it performs in a national election. Explain this to our viewers. Do you believe that Mr. Modi's magic, as they call it, extends much more when he is the factor rather than when he has to pull up the party in a state election?
Rajdeep, a simple small data point. 1/3 of BJP voters in the 2019 election said, to be more specific, 31% said that if Mr. Modi were not the prime ministerial candidate, we would not vote for the BJP. I think that by itself is an important indication of how much the leadership of the Prime Minister pulls up the BJP in a national poll. But that does not happen in a state poll if at the state level the BJP does not have a leadership which can actually lift up and make use of the fact of the Prime Minister's presence. You saw this in Delhi, that with the opposition having a credible face like Arvind Kejriwal, the Prime Minister's campaigning did not make an impact. You saw this in Jharkhand, where the JMM was able to do it. So I think critical in Bihar will be whether Tejasvi Yadav is able to capture the imagination of the young voter, and can that offset this record or this image that the Prime Minister is able to create. Tejasvi Yadav not able to do that, I think the NDA has a huge advantage with the Prime Minister's campaign.
Okay, interesting. Nupur Sharma, you want to explain that? In Delhi, for example, which you know well, 2020 state polls, 38.5% BJP vote. 2019 Lok Sabha in Delhi, BJP vote was 57%. When Mr. Modi is not at the center of an election, Nupur Sharma, the BJP finds it more difficult. How do you explain that?
No, I just want to actually now please respond to Professor Vallabh before. You know, he's talking a lot about education. I'd like him to please enlighten me. What is exactly the qualification of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi? I forgot. Please remind me. Kahan tak padhi hai? Kaun si graduation? Kahan se kari hai? Kaun si university? Please do tell me. Secondly, you know, funnily, he's not given me an answer why in 15 years, Lalu and his wife could only conjure up around 1 lakh jobs. And there was no explanation he gave to you that how are they only going to give empty certificates without any work to do. Secondly, when from 3.19 GDP growth rate, you go upwards of 11%. When your agriculture grows from 2.3 to 8.5, when your roads increase from 34 to 96%, when your bijli goes from 22% to 100%, when your deficit comes down from 6.2 to 2.7%, are you trying to tell me that there are no jobs created? Are you trying to tell me that people were just working like that? See, Bihar is predominantly an agricultural state. You need to understand that. नदियों का प्रदेश है, नदियों का राज्य है. और आज आपने मुझसे पूछा ना, ये पर्सनली मुझे लॉर्ड बिलमोरिया ने 2012 में बताया था. I tried my best to start a unit under Lalu and Rabri. It never turned out. Thanks to Mr. Nitish Kumar, I could actually figure out
final
how to open
minute,
my unit.
Final minute of the debate, therefore, to Gaurav Vallabh.
And I gave you an answer.
Final minute, therefore, Gaurav Vallabh. Let's be honest. Both Lalu and Nitish have much to answer for.
Rajdeep, at the beginning of the program, I asked a very simple two questions. Till now, she was not able to answer me. I asked, give me the name of one big company who started his business or operations in Bihar in last 15 years. She was not able to answer. I asked her, give me the name of one. Please don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. No, that's not good. Please behave.
Presidential style mute button being pressed. Mute button, both of you, you've gone through these arguments. We are going to let the viewers of voters of Bihar. Both of you have made the arguments on employment before.
Not able to answer.
Okay, let's leave it there. Producer, mute button time. I appreciate my guests joining us. You've given us a sense of where you stand. I hope that Rozgar becomes the issue in Bihar. Who really can provide more employment opportunities? That would be a good issue on which to fight an election for Bihar. Now, one of the things of Bihar which remains the same as in many parts of the country is political dynasties. They're not new to India and they're not new to Bihar. In this election, a string of young leaders are contesting. Bihar Gen Next, from Tej Pratap Yadav and of course Tejasvi Yadav, Lalu's children. They are contesting this election. You've also got Shreyasi Singh, the daughter of former Union Minister Digvijay Singh. She's been fielded by the BJP. She was a Commonwealth Games shooting champion in 2018. Love Sinha, the son of actor politician Shatrughan Sinha, is contesting from Patna's Bankipur constituency on a Congress ticket. And Subhashni Yadav, the daughter of former Union Minister Sharad Yadav, she's contesting from Bihariganj seat on a Congress ticket. So lots of young dentists, and we want to focus on a couple of them today. I'm joined by Love Sinha. He is contesting, as I said, from near Patna and Shreyasi Singh is also contesting, the daughter of Sharad Yadav. Appreciate both of you joining us. Love Sinha, why don't I come to you first? The charge against all the dentists is the same, Love Sinha ji, that all of you are there as parachute politicians, that you have not done the hard work or the hard miles to actually ask for votes. How do you respond कि आप लोग सब हवाई politicians, parachute politicians are there?
First of all, मेरा मानना है कि the people who say this, it's basically the opposition, and it's very funny because the opposition is a party I've actually worked with since 2009. I've been with my father since every election. This is my fourth election. It's the only difference is I'm a candidate this time. Others, I've always been with him in every election. So it's very funny when the BJP accuses me of this, especially when they've seen that I work just as hard as their workers, if not harder. And I'm sure that even the Congress, they have multiple options to choose from. If they chose me, I'm sure there was a very specific reason for it. Now, before you ask me what that reason is, I'd like to say that the party knows better. But I'm very honored and grateful that I've been given this opportunity to fight, because it's going to be a good fight.
You know, it's interesting you're saying that you say that you worked with your father. I want to take that to Subhashni Yadav as well, because I spoke to her earlier today. And I asked her also this question. You're contesting this election in Bihar. You have no political experience. What made you decide, Subhashni, that you want to fight an election on a Congress ticket this time?
My father is part of Mahagathbandhan, and one cannot say that I don't have any political experience. I do have a social experience wherein I've been working closely here in my constituency with the people and helping them. And being part of Mahagathbandhan, Congress party gave me this opportunity, and I'm very thankful to the Congress party.
No, the reason I'm asking you this, Subhashni, is because your father, Sharad Yadav, came through a political struggle. You know, he famously won that big election in Jabalpur during the emergency period. He was seen as someone who took on Indira Gandhi, came through a socialist movement of political struggle. You are an MBA, spent much of your life outside Bihar. Would you say, as your critics say, that you're a parachute politician, unlike your father who was a ground level politician?
Yes, of course, people are saying so. But when I'm moving on the ground, the identity I'm having here is different from what people are talking about. People are giving me a lot of love, support, and the kind of hope they see in me. Being daughter of Mr. Sharad Yadav, the kind of work he has done in his constituency. Nobody has made me feel so yet.
You know,
but yes, there was a political struggle behind my father's political career. I am also struggling without him. I'm campaigning here. Without his guidance, he is not well. So it is a struggle for me as well.
You know, I want to ask you this, Love Sinha. Is it much easier in a sense for you than it was for your father or indeed a previous generation? You come with the, you know, with an advantage. You are Shatrughan Sinha's son of the original Bihari Babu. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage?
Okay, so let me answer that, Rajdeep. First of all, the main point here is that being his son means people expect me to be like him. They expect me to reach the heights that he's reached very easily, and they believe that I have an advantage. But whether it's in the film industry or whether it's in politics, my father has never done my sifarish, so to speak. Otherwise, in the film industry, by now I would have done a lot more work on the basis of him recommending me to people he knows. In politics also, when I worked in the previous election, when I was campaigning for him all throughout, I wasn't doing it with the expectation that I want a ticket. I was fulfilling my duty as a son, which I think every son should do. And the amount I have traveled in Bihar, especially last time because of the Lok Sabha elections, I think that I was just as hard as any other party worker, if not more, so to speak.
But you know, there are many party workers who could turn around and say, look, they spend 365 days, 24/7 on the ground in Bihar. They don't get tickets. Along comes Love Sinha. He's Shatrughan Sinha's son, spends a lot of his time in Mumbai, is associated with the film industry, gets the ticket because you are Shatrughan Sinha's son. I mean, the question is particularly in the Congress party, this sense that, you know, you're almost entitled to a ticket because your father is a politician?
No, I'm not entitled to anything. I've never been entitled to anything, whether it's in the film industry or politics. First of all, if I was entitled, then I would have been given a Lok Sabha ticket in the next election instead of fighting the Vidhan Sabha election this time. Other than that, also, I do agree that there are certain workers who may have felt maybe hurt, but I didn't make the decision, and neither did I tell the party that I would like a ticket. I didn't ask my father. Because like I said, I don't believe in asking anyone to give me something that I don't deserve. And I believe in working hard for whatever I get in life.
You know, very interesting though that you all are saying this. Subhash, you know, your father always fought against the Congress for much of his life. He was seen as an anti-Congress leader. You have joined the Congress. Immediately the Congress gives you a ticket. Why join the Congress, which many believe is a party in decline in Bihar?
Mr. Sardesai, as I mentioned before, my father is part of Mahagathbandhan since 2017. And with Congress party, he held so many campaign against the current government by the name of Saja Virasat Bachao. And being Congress the national party and Congress supporting this movement, and this opportunity again was given to me by Congress party. My father was ill. I had no plans to contest elections. But Mr. Ahmed Patel encouraged me to take forward his work and give, and this is actually giving a platform to Congress party as well, as you mentioned, that yes, of course, in Bihar, it doesn't have that cadre-based politics and party people. But yet I am trying to give Congress party also an identity.
You know, I want to ask both of you this in conclusion. What are the dreams and ideals of the younger generation, the Gen Next politicians? How are they different from the previous generation, Love Sinha? You know, the general perception is Bihar politicians fight on caste. Will this generation next talk about issues like employment, talk about issues like education? That's what the people want you to talk about. Do you believe that the younger generation leaders are more willing to talk about these issues than the previous generation?
So if you've seen any of my other interviews, basically I've been talking about primarily what the issues are that the public faces. Caste is not something you can avoid, but that's not something that should be the priority either. I know my caste. I know that I'm a Kayas. I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, I'm here to go along with everyone. I'm here to try and move forward with everyone if I'm given the opportunity to. Because leaving people behind, I don't think that's the right way. Because to take a nation forward, you need to move ahead with everyone. That's what I believe.
Interesting the way you're putting it. Subhashni, one final question. You know, we are seeing a lot of young women contesting this election. Young women politicians, many of them are daughters of politicians. But how difficult or easy is it to be a woman politician in a state like Bihar, very male-dominated politics?
Firstly, it's very encouraging. I am very happy to see so much women candidature across the state. And second, the acceptance. Women here in Bihar, what I've seen so far, is so much respected. And people here have faith on women. and they are giving so much love and support to me. I don't feel there is any gender inequality in this.
A final question, Love Sinha. Assume that
Yeah.
you lose the election. Will you stay on in Bihar? Are you here for the long run, or is this a flirtation?
So I'll remind you, Rajdeep, you had interviewed me 10 years ago when my first film had released. I never left the industry. So I don't leave no matter where I start. Whatever the outcome may be, I'm here to stay, and I'm here to fight, even in the future.
Well, that's good to hear that you say that you're here to stay, that you're here to fight. Gen Next Netas of Bihar, and we'll be meeting many of them in the days ahead. For now, we wish you well, both to Love Sinha and Subhashini Yadav. Thank you very much. Welcome back. Let's take a bit of a pause button and turn to a good news today's story. Onion prices are rising, political temperatures are rising. What else is the good news, though, of the day? In the middle of this pandemic, Ram Leela artists are now innovating to meet the COVID norms. Remember, Dussehra is just a couple of days away. For example, Lucknow's oldest Ram Leela has now gone online. It's our good news today's story. Take a look.
Novel coronavirus is raging across the globe, but it has failed to dampen the festive spirits in India. People are adopting new methods to celebrate. The Ashbagh Ram Leela of Lucknow has decided to go digital this year. The 3-hour Ram Leela program will be telecasted on social media.
इस वर्ष कोरोना संक्रमण काल की वजह से हम अपनी जनता को यहाँ पर नहीं बुला सकते थे, जो रोज 10-12 हजार लोग यहाँ पब्लिक यहाँ बैठ करके देखती थी, तो इसलिए समिति ने निर्णय लिया कि हम अपनी परंपरा को नहीं टूटने देंगे। इसलिए हम लोगों ने ऑनलाइन व्यवस्था की है, जो हमारी वेबसाइट है www.ashbaghramleela.org पर, फेसबुक पर और यूट्यूब पर। ये हमारी रामलीला रोज बराबर यहाँ से प्रसारण उसका हो रहा है।
The Shri Ram Motsav Ram Leela of Ashbagh, the oldest in the city, will stick to old customs even as it goes online. The actors will, however, miss the live audience.
We really miss our live audience, but yeah, it's a correspondence of what we are doing it right now, and earlier what we were supposed to do that. So yeah, we are missing our live audience, and it's really a great experience for us also to do virtually.
Audience जब रहती है तो हमें energy ज़्यादा मिलती है, and कैमरा में ये रहता है कि हाँ हमें करना है, and audience के सामने अगर हम perform करते हैं, it's like ना अगर हम अच्छा perform करेंगे हमें ज़्यादा clapping मिलेगी, ज़्यादा like appreciation मिलेगा, और कैमरे में रहता है कि nothing like 1-2 लोग ने कहा हाँ अच्छा है, और वहाँ पे काफी audience रहती है, तो it's totally different but live and with audience.
Following the COVID guidelines, maintaining social distance, sanitization, use of masks is the new reality of Ram Leela. But this situation has not affected the spirits of this artist. Indeed, with the new transition of virtual reality, this Ram Leela is reaching to your doorstep through virtual reality. Use of mobile phone has connected millions of followers to this Ram Leela. Indeed, this Dussehra is gonna be a new thing. In Lucknow with cameraman Sanjay Singh, Abhishek Mishra for India Today.